Well, it's Nathan McDonald with the Keiretsu Forum, and we're here at the Firestarters interviews for the Fire Conference. This is our 12th year, so welcome to the 2014 conference. Congratulations on MD Revolution.
Thank you.
Being here. Could you start off just by telling us a little bit about yourself and your background and the company and what you guys have to show here at the conference this week?
Sure. So my background's in medicine. I'm a practicing cardiologist. I still see patients that keep a small practice, but what we are really about in terms of the company is leading the way in digital health by breaking down the silos that currently exist in digital technology applied to healthcare. So digital devices like blood pressure cuffs, weight scales, pedometer trackers that we're buying, consumers are buying, they're all, the data's in silos, and it's still healthcare data. And what we're doing is really bringing these data fields together in a way that the user, the end user, can find meaning in that data. And we're actually, on the back end, taking the data, filtering it, and providing actionable information for the individual. And what we found is we can manage population health in this way very effectively. And so what we're really doing is targeting large populations by using this technology platform, the software platform we created to actually move population from high risk to lower risk. And so what we're really ultimately about is lowering the cost of healthcare, embedding both the chronic disease curve in developing nations and developed nations, as well as lowering healthcare costs. And our primary target is really employers, as well as government and commercial payers, third-party payers, and also strategic partners. For areas like fitness, life sciences, pharmaceutical industry, we're talking to all of them because they're all interested in aggregated data that can have meaning. And so that's really what the company's about.
Terrific. Well, it's a big buzzword out there in terms of, the revolution in our healthcare, both from a regulatory point of view, from a provider point of view, from a payer point of view. And,
sure.
And data is a big part of the kind of democratization of healthcare, and we see companies going at that from a lot of different ways. You see the hospital systems with their huge, gigantic battleship-style healthcare information tracking systems, and then you see a lot of these consumer devices that, frankly, get a lot of, very good actionable data that helps individual consumers make choices. So it sounds like you guys have chosen the latter approach in terms of educating consumers with the devices they have to be able to make better healthcare decisions about their own lifestyle choices. Do you guys interact with the patient care systems that are in the hospitals and those types of things, or you guys stand strictly consumer-based at this point?
No, in fact, we're a population health management tool.
Okay.
So we have end users, but the end users actually include patients. So our solutions being used by bariatric surgery clinics, weight loss clinics, and we have a number of other clinics that are going to be using it. But from a health system standpoint, we also scale existing case management. So case managers typically cover between 3 to 8% of the highest risk people. So the 92% or the 95% that then can become that 5%, you're really not doing anything for those individuals. And so our platform can layer on top of existing case managers, because the product was actually developed in a clinical lab.
Okay.
We have a clinical practice on the campus of Scripps Memorial Hospital in La Jolla, California, where we actually developed our protocols through delivering this technology with physician extenders like nutritionists and personal trainers and health coaches and IT personnel. And so we really are leveraging physician extenders, health coaches to deliver what we believe is probably the most effective way to do prevention, which is 24/7, because prevention occurs outside of the doctor's office. So to answer your question, we are not a direct. We have a direct consumer product, but we're really ultimately about helping to scale disease management in various settings. And so fitness professionals, payers, as well as health systems and hospital systems in general are big clients of ours.
Okay, so you're distributing through those
That's
practice
right.
groups.
We're a B2B solution, a B2B to C
Okay.
solution. So we're really a business solution that then ultimately targets the consumer.
And so how do you customize your platform for each of those different distribution channels and make it work for them to be able to achieve what they hope to with their goals, depending on what their focus area is?
Great question. So, for payers, for commercial payers. They right now, what healthcare reform has done is created an environment where medical loss ratios have to exceed 80% for insurance companies. So in other words, it used to be that you could have a large administrative budget, keep that and profit from it, but now your margins are much thinner. So what payers are looking to do is increase market share, but then also have healthier populations. Mm-hmm. And so employers are actually looking for payers to say, listen, if I have a healthier population, what can you do for me in terms of capping my rate hike? So a tool like ours which tracks a population, and we have a point system which is assigned, which actually correlates with outcomes. So if an employer population is able to keep their patient population engaged at a level of 200 points, you're going to have a healthier population, therefore you can cap the rate hike. So it's a way for an insurance company to gain greater market share. From the health system side, it scales the case managers, as I mentioned, so you're able to take 5% of people and now take care of maybe 15 or 20% through this platform, which layers on top of the existing case manager. So again, in a state where healthcare reform is demanding you have to have better value care, this creates these feedback loops through the technology. So what happens is now these case managers can follow a much larger percentage, therefore reduce risk for that organization. Self-funded companies where we lower healthcare costs through them, and strategic partnerships. So we're working with, we're in talks with a number of pharmaceutical companies, life science companies, in terms of developing joint products with them, doing research, because right now research in digital health requires that you have a platform that not only aggregates data, but you can analyze against the data. The database architecture needs to be designed in such a way that a researcher can access the data and seek out and find novel correlations. So we're able to do that. So we have a lot of applications because we're developed with a scientific vantage point. We are in a unique position where we're touching a lot of different areas, and so a lot of people from different areas are either wanting to develop joint products with us, access our database, or use the product itself to help manage populations.
So one of the big challenges has been those silos that you talked about at the beginning.
Absolutely.
Breaking down those silos.
That's right.
There's been a lot of people who've really, broken their sword trying to make that happen.
Yeah.
What is it that's been about your guys' product and approach that's allowed you guys to be successful where, other groups have gotten stuck in the technology or stuck in the bureaucracy or,
Sure.
Stuck in just making it work? Because it seems like it's a lot harder than it should be, but it's exciting to hear there's a solution you guys have had success with in the market.
I think there's a number of things. It's kind of the perfect storm. I mean, we started the company, I think, with the mind that what we wanted to do first and foremost is generate clinical outcomes. We wanted to understand how do these tools actually deliver value, which is something that I think a lot of digital health companies were, how do they produce data? They weren't thinking about what is that data going to do. So we started in a clinical lab. I didn't have software, didn't have any of it. We were using different apps and different things just to see if this could generate outcomes. When we found out what that process was, we knew exactly how to scale it then. So we didn't build software in a vacuum. We actually built it with the clinician, the coach, and the patient in mind, and the outcomes in mind. So ultimately what we're really focused on is reduction in visceral fat, belly fat, which is what's driving a lot of disease, not weight and BMI. We focus on improving fitness through measurable parameters. Yeah. And so the development process was as important as anything in terms of our success. The other piece is the fact is that the times. Affordable Care Act was released, and now value-based care is becoming a commonly used theme. But also, there's about 20 to 30% of health systems and ACOs that are really aggressively moving from a fee-for-service system to a value-based system, and our solution is perfect for them. So the market has shifted as we've come out with a product, and that I can't claim to be have predicted that, but I think that was one of the fortunate byproducts of healthcare reform. And then technology. The technology, 5 years ago, we couldn't have started this company because although the sensors were present, the application programming interfaces were not built, the bridges that needed to be built, the ability to share data. Companies that build the technology know that if you can't share that data, they're going to be stifled in their own growth. So that process, as we've gone out and built our software, realized that people are becoming more progressive within those silos of saying we have to build an ecosystem around digital health, and they realize now that everyone benefits if they take their sensor and share the data. And I think those three things, so it's the really the way we developed the process in a clinical laboratory that was focused on outcomes. It's the market forces that are in play driving value-based care, and the technology that over the last few years that's become more progressive in terms of being able to share data in an easy manner.
Well, terrific. Sounds like a perfect storm for all of us that have hoped for this to come for a long time. So we're at the Fire Conference this week. Is there anything in particular that you guys are hoping to accomplish here, or a message you guys are hoping to get out to the attendees that are here, as well as the folks that are watching online?
I think, ultimately, what I think Fire is all about is really about telling the story of what's happening and what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the digital health space, there's a lot of ambiguity around what exactly this space is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think messaging out there and around that we need to build an ecosystem around digital devices and technology. It's not the technology, it's not the sensor, but it's the delivery of outcomes and that ecosystem that needs to be developed. So getting that message out. I think the other piece that we are doing it, we have outcomes, and digital health can improve outcomes. We can show that, we have that data. And I think the other thing is really meeting partners who are interested in progressive-minded either investors or companies that say, listen, I want my employees to be healthier. I want to try out this product in our population. And other investors who are looking for really cutting-edge or bleeding-edge companies that are doing some interesting things, and to kind of introduce them to our company and our ideas.
Well, MD Revolution has started. Congratulations. Welcome to Fire.
Thank you.
We look
I'm
forward to
excited
getting your
about it.
message out, and a great week ahead. Thank you for being here.
All right, thank you.